Hey, I'm here with Chad Evans. He's the Vice President of Merchandising for AVB. And welcome back to the hotspot here at Your Source News, Chad.
That's what you're calling it these days, the hot spot, huh?
Oh, hot seat, hot spot.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about something you brought up during one of your stage presentations. The fact that the past few years during the pandemic situation, from the consumer's perspective, the focus was on availability.
Yeah.
If a dealer was in stock, they were golden.
Yeah.
Now things have switched back again to the pre-pandemic kind of marketplace.
Yeah.
And it's all about price.
Yeah.
So, what is your advice to our members, to the independent dealers out there, regarding a go-to-market strategy that's going to make them competitive in today's environment?
Yeah, I mean, it's really looking at kind of how business was done pre-pandemic, and I think everybody kind of understands that those major holiday windows, are so important, because that's when there's a lot of, manufacturer promotion, there's a lot of expectation from consumers on savings, and so it's really having a two-part strategy, making sure that you always have an always-on kind of idea of a promotion and driving business, and then really, doubling down or putting your foot on the gas around those major holiday windows, from an advertising, making sure you have the on-sale savings story on your website and in your store, and then I would also say it's kind of a little bit back to basics. We've heard a major message from our members here at the show is that, I think we've all gotten a little bit complacent, because consumers were just coming in, and if you had it in stock, it's like, oh, I'll take it. There wasn't really any salesmanship, and I've heard it from a lot of the dealers that they feel like, okay, we need to get our salespeople back to the old basics of sales 101 and presenting things in an understandable way, and really just getting our salespeople back to selling again.
Yeah. But the message being that you've got to maintain that promotional messaging even between the holiday.
Yeah. You have to have an always on, because the appliance industry especially, is anywhere from 60 to 65% is duress purchases, right? So, your fridge goes out, it might go out in April when there's no promotion going on, you still need a fridge. So you need to be top of mind with that consumer that, hey, that is the place to go. And so it's kind of, like I said, that two-pronged approach of always on, making sure you're top of mind, but then really, really focusing heavily and increasing your budgets and your focus during those major holiday windows.
Okay. Supply chain. I thought things were kind of back to quote-unquote normal, but I'm hearing that there's still a couple of glitches here and there. What's the situation in the market?
I mean, there's no doubt that there's still some availability issues in certain categories. You're still having problems with, chips and wiring harnesses, some of the components that go into the products. And, the fact of the matter is that's not going to clear up overnight. I think there's still a feeling that we're going to go through the better part of this year and still have kind of some of those availability issues. Now, as business has slowed down a little bit, that timeline might be moved up a little bit depending on kind of how demand is, but you definitely still seeing inventory. We're kind of in this hybrid approach where you do need to focus on selling and its price, like you mentioned, but you do still need to be cautious about certain products and the inventory levels, and working closely with manufacturers and having an understanding of kind of timelines.
Last question. I listen in on the public companies that have earnings calls, and I talk to analysts, and you had brought this up on stage as well about the sales environment. Soft first half of 2023, first quarter in particular, and that things should loosen up a little bit as we get further into the back half. Does that still seem to be the forecast? Yeah,
and talking with industry experts and vendors, I definitely think that that's still the overall feeling. We've started out this year, very, very tough, and we've seen business slow down. But I think if you look all the way back to last year, 2022, during the first quarter, we were still kind of in the pandemic phase of like high demand, lots of consumers coming in. And then really about April of May of last year, we started to see it kind of tail off. And so I think that's the feeling that manufacturers and personally myself have, is that as our comps are a little bit lower, and as we kind of get into the back half of the year, maybe having some additional good news in the economy, that that customer demand will continue to increase as we move throughout the year.
And well, with easier comps compared to
easier comps, so we'll feel better about where business is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
Okay, Chad, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
I always enjoy
absolutely.
chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks, Alan.